Hello everyone, my name is Steve Oostenbrugge and I am the Executive Director of the Institute of Certified Professional Managers. Today we're going to talk about planning. We all do it. For the most part, we probably do a halfway decent job. Maybe some of us don't even want to, kind of plan anything. We're very spontaneous, right? We love that. Well, we're going to talk about, from a management perspective, 4 types of planning. And I'll give you a scenario. How many of you have actually planned your vacation? I would guess that whoever's watching this right now, we've probably done that before. But how many of you actually got to your destination and realized you forgot something? Now what? Maybe you're even on the way to the airport or on, in your car driving to wherever, and you're like, did I leave the stove on? Did I lock the door? There's so many different questions that have obviously appear and kind of pop up at that point. That's all part of planning. Managers have to do this on a daily basis. I don't even know if there's research out there that determines how many types of plans managers make, whether they keep them, whether they follow them, whether they are just creating them for the sake of creating them. Who knows? The point is this. In order to run a business profitably and efficiently, you're going to be planning for things. You need to plan all aspects of the organization and the business itself. So let's talk about them. So the first one we're going to talk about is strategic planning. That's a high-level plan. That is coming from the C-suite, those CEOs, CFOs, whatever. Okay, that's the concept of a C-suite. Those individuals who are planning long range, they're looking 5+ years in the future. For instance, okay, we want to build a plant in this Asian country, and we want to have that done in the next 10 years. Okay, nice high-level thought, high-level plan. And they might and should have reasons for doing so. I want to open that plant in this Asian country because, whatever that because may be. Okay, strategic level, very high. There's not a lot of details other than the fact that they're making a statement. We want to do X, right? Whatever that X may be. Second step, tactical planning. So we got strategic, that's the high level, 5+ years. Tactical planning normally starts looking at between 1 and 3 year time frame out. And the tactical plans are attempting to take that strategic plan, that vision of where they want to be in the future, and assigning some kind of guidelines to it, assigning some goals. In order for us to achieve that new plant in some different country, we have to do X, Y, and Z. And again, big steps, you're still looking at 1 to 3 years out. But in order to open that plant or that new building, new office facility in a different country, they have to start thinking about, okay, what do we need? All right, do we have employees? How much is it going to cost to build this? Do we have infrastructure and where we want to build it? Do we even have land and where it wants to go? Is the country even going to allow us? Does it align with our mission and visions and values that we have for the organization already? There's a lot of questions that go into this. Then they're looking at, do we even have the ability? Do we have the resources? Do we have the money to be able to do this? Okay. Strategic plan, they're not looking so much at the money. They're looking at other areas. They're looking at the different concepts of what this represents. Tactics are going to look at it from a little bit closer perspective. Well, if we're going to achieve what the strategic plan asks for, we need to accomplish this first. We need to get the ability and approval from the organization, from the country that's going to allow us there. Approval from the country to build or buy. Approval from the country to either send in our own employees or hire from there. You get the idea. There's many different steps. So far, where I haven't even talked about the mission. Do you remember what we talked about mission and vision in a previous video? The vision is this overarching idea of where we want to be in the future, but the mission is what we do today. That brings us to our third type of plan, and that is the operational plan. That's the idea that, well, in order for me to carry out the tactics, finding the land, finding the ability to build or hire employees or whatever we need to do in that country, now I have to go, okay, I have to call so-and-so at this number on this date, set up a meeting with them so we can discuss this further. Okay, these are the day-to-day. These are the things that are actually happening as you speak. Most managers deal with operational plans. Now, again, we have different levels of management. We have the upper management, middle, and first line supervisors, or the first line managers. They're all doing these types of plans in some way, shape, or form. Most of them are dealing with very specific. The upper level is dealing with strategic. Middle managers might be dealing more with the tactical plans, and then they tell those first line managers, hey, you need to get this done. We need to achieve this year. You have a sales quota, for instance, and then that manager in the operational side of things goes, okay, in order to get to that goal, that quota, I have to do this. I have to hire X number of employees. I have to have those employees doing this specifically every single day. They have to go out there. They have to make X number of sales calls. They have to sell X number of dollars per day or week, month, whatever type of measuring system they're using. And they then need to plan on how to accomplish that. They've been given a directive by their bosses that says we need to get here. It now falls on them to determine how best to achieve that. How many employees does it take to get that done? How much money does it take to get that purchased or built, whatever? All of that comes to fruition to say, if I'm doing my mission, why am I here? And I'm conducting that mission and doing what I need to do, then you should be working towards the vision. So by doing the operational plans, we are achieving the tactical goals and tasks which they've laid out, which in turn are getting to that strategic plan, that vision of a future event, a future finish line, so to speak. But what happens if something happens? Life happens. A natural disaster. Remember my scenario originally when we said we want to open up that new factory, new building in a foreign country? Well, that sounds great. We went through the idea, strategic, we went through setting some goals, tactics, and we started doing what we need to do to make it happen, operational. But then something happened. Something we didn't anticipate. Something that surprised us. Now we can get into program and non-program decisions, which we have in a different video as well, but this comes down to what we call contingency plans. The idea of, can we plan for every contingency? No. Don't even try. Okay, I can assure you there's no one in this world, and it's not like I got research to prove it, but I'm pretty certain that there's no one in this world that has ever planned for everything. You have no idea what's going to come tomorrow. Okay, we might know what's taking place right at this moment, but what happens tomorrow? I mean, if you're able to do that, you're a fortune teller and can read the future. Wow, we need to talk, because I think there's some great things in yours and my future in reference to that. Since we can't, we need to plan for contingencies. And knowing that we can't plan for them all, we focus on some of the things that we at least can control. Remember my idea of, or my example of, you went on vacation and you're like, well, what happens if? So you're taking a vacation. I'm planning this gorgeous vacation with my family. I plan it all out. I get the car all stocked with everything that we need, and I take a trip. Well, I might be thinking is like, well, what happens if I break down on the road there? Do I have the tools in my car to be able to fix it myself? Do I have a phone numbers in order to call AAA or some road service that can come out and help me? Just thinking of those and ensuring that you're able to potentially address some of those issues is what a contingency plan is. If I get injured, do I have a first aid kit? You get the idea. 4 types of plannings: strategic, long range, 5+ years. Tactics, 1 to 3 years. Let's start creating those goals that need to be achieved in order to reach that strategic plan. Operational planning. Figure out what needs to get done on a daily basis. When those employees check in every day and they check out every day, are you measuring the performance towards the tactics and strategic goals and vision that's been set forth with your organization? And on the off chance somebody or something happens, do you have a contingency plan to address that gap right now in your ability to achieve the result that the plans call for? 4 types. Now, again, what does this all have to do with the certification? Most of you who are pursuing a certified management certification should already know this. You're already doing all of this. In fact, you've probably done all of those levels of different plans. Well, guess what? Does your colleagues, does your bosses, does your organization know that? Have they seen it? Some probably have. Okay. Are they aware that you know what you're talking about? get your certification from ICPM, and you've just validated that information. You've validated those skills and knowledge which are necessary to make the required plans in order to achieve in business and in your personal life. Head over to ICPM right now to get your certification today.